It's the Two Strange.
Okay, welcome to another strange episode of Two Sleepy Men. Is that right?
Ooh. No.
Okay.
I was trying to think of something witty, like to play on the idea of S, but I'm not smart enough to do that on the fly.
Yeah.
So maybe we'll edit something in.
Oh, absolutely. I love extra work that
Yeah.
you give me. I definitely do.
I could see your face as I was like, oh, he's doing it again.
Yeah. I never do, mate. I never do.
Yeah.
Like, I think there's one point in time where I did something a little bit interesting, but nah.
And you were like, sack it off.
I've got kids.
Yeah.
I can't do this.
We've got lives.
I've got kids in a full-time job.
Let's not pretend that we're not just like AI voices in the wild. We've already covered this.
Yeah.
We're not real people.
Yeah. I mean, we're not really people. That's true. We're just, what was it? Biobots.
Yeah, we're a collection of strange thoughts I'll put onto the airways.
Absolutely.
So speaking of like being sleepy boys,
it's been a super busy week, and I think anyone who's like kind of like in education and stuff like that has their kids go back to school or whatever, like from August into September, there is a massive leap in productivity and stuff like that, and your body's not necessarily ready for it, is it?
And if we were smart people, we'd have done loads of these episodes and not bothered in September. But we're not smart, but we're dedicated.
We're very
here.
smart. It's just we just have no time. No time.
I don't know about you, but I can feel the bags under my eyes today. Just like now, I've sat down. Like, they're being dragged out.
Tell you what, I'm reaching 40 years old, and I'm at the point now where the muscles of my cheeks are just deciding that they're going to leave my body, and just sort of like a tube, like toothpaste in a tube. Like it's
like you're having a
pushed.
stroke. Is that what you're trying to say? Can you smell toast?
No, I'm not having a stroke. I'm in the best shape of my life, actually. It's just no one's told that to the muscles on my face. Yeah.
So welcome to our sleep ASMR, where we're just gonna have a little nap.
Yeah.
Why do we keep banging on about sleep?
Because we're going to be talking about sleep. That's the topic of our strangeness this week.
My dream for this podcast is that we are the podcast people put on as they're kind of, relaxing, ready to go to sleep. Not because we're boring, right? But just, you got that podcast and you're just like, I like listening to it. It winds me down. It gets me ready for the night. I want to be that. I want to be that for somebody.
Absolutely not. No, I've got too much energy for that. I cannot be there. Hi, welcome to my podcast.
No, I'm not saying we need to change the game, right? I just want to be somebody's comfort show. I want to be someone's comfort show.
We'll see how that goes. Okay.
Right.
Go to sleep. Wake up! Wake up now!
Well, do you want to be
You're
like
not allowed to sleep. You listen to my voice.
Are you like a walk to work kind of podcast? Just like, now we're going to bring the pizzazz.
Yeah, absolutely.
Time to take the steps.
I think we're a mixture of the two. But don't try to don't try to go to sleep with us, okay? Because at some point in time,
that's not consent. I'm not giving my consent for you to sleep with me. Anybody that's listening.
Don't try to fall asleep with us, because we do not regulate the sound levels effectively enough for you. Okay, it's not good. All right.
Are you telling me you're not going to sprinkle in some white noise and into the edit?
I think that just comes naturally due to our poor recording quality.
Right. Yeah. Good.
I mean, like, credit where credit's due. It's not too bad recording quality. Yeah.
I like it. I listen to it
good.
every now and again.
Yeah, I've even had a compliment recently about it. Yeah, so there you go. There you go. Anyway, so when I suggested to you that we were going to be looking at sleep, you're like, whoa, boy, I've got some stories for you.
The thing is, you think that's an exaggeration. I literally did that. Maybe not with that accent, but I was like, oh, yes.
Buddy, we all know what you like.
Yeah.
You like that on the podcast. So
this is just me. I can't hide my true self. Because me and sleep have a strange relationship.
Oh, yeah.
And I think sometimes when we're going through all this kind of theoretical kind of mythology, we talk a lot about theoretical theory, don't we? And we talk a lot about the metaphysical and how everything works.
Yeah.
And
you lose the personal touch. Is that what you're saying?
No.
Okay.
No. I'm saying that I think my dreams are very interesting. And,
Okay.
and I think they have a psychological component to them. And I think that the way this podcast is kind of worming, kind of our own personal sense of selves comes into these kind of theories we talk about. Right? So I thought, what a perfect thing to talk about myself.
Yeah. I mean, I recently brought up in another episode the idea that I was getting like visitations from dead loved ones. Yeah. That was something that came up recently. But yeah, other than that, you know, my ability to remember my dreams is actually quite limited. I do remember dreams, but I'm only really remembering those dreams when I'm having a bad night's sleep, when I'm really struggling to actually go to sleep. I'll go up to the toilet and then, you know, too much light or something like that and too much on my mind, and then I'm just drifting in and out of sleep. And it's then when I really remember the dreams, and they can be quite harrowing sometimes, I would say.
And they say, don't they, if you're getting optimal sleep, you probably don't remember your dreams.
Yeah, I guess so.
You know, is there something there, you know, at the end of a sleep, if you've got an optimal sleep, that just kind of wipes your memory?
Yeah. But I'm only ever really remembering them ones as I'm slowly waking up anyway. Yeah.
So, to kick us off, I want to go somewhere familiar, comfortable.
Well, no, I mean, like you're going to jump into like, you know, one of the topics that we've actually researched, but I want to hear one of your dreams, Tom. You've heard one of my dreams recently.
I think we need to ease in.
Okay,
right?
if you want.
Like you don't go full BDSM, do you? Like you don't,
Jesus.
You get people ready.
Okay.
You lube them up.
Oh, for goodness sake! I don't want to hear this dream.
How dare you? From all the weeks that, and one time I'm a little bit crass, and that's it. It all kicks off.
But like, you know, you're meant to be my foil, aren't you? Like I'm the crass one, and you're the one that
I'm
puts me in my place.
I'm tired. I just
all right. I'll be the chaste one, and you'll be the crass one today.
Be the straight man today.
Yes, and you'll be the very homosexual.
Yeah. So, right, what to tell you?
Oh, are you gonna?
Okay. Why not? Why not?
All right.
So a lot of my dreams are quite surreal in nature. Think like a Dadaist painting.
Yeah. Okay.
And I'm just like in the middle of one.
Yeah.
Trying to make sense of it all.
Okay. All right. Bit of the old Dali.
Yeah. Well,
dreams.
A lot of my dreams are about like, you know, I usually start with a concept of reality that's normal to me. Maybe I'm here. Right, maybe I'm at home, and then just quite often, like the world will just fizzle away, and everything will become quite metaphysical, and you know the concept of atoms, like everything's breaking down into smaller atoms, like crazy stuff,
Good
right?
Lord.
And it really is. It's like an acid trip.
Yeah.
Not that I would know what that looks like.
Oh, okay.
But it's like you know that Simpsons episode where Bart just like fizzles away.
Yeah,
one of the horror ones, and everything's just kind of like falling off, like someone's put oil on a painting, and it's just
very, very similar to the episode where Homer eats the chili, and Johnny Cash is the voice of it.
Yeah.
Follow your soulmate, Homer.
Yeah, that was on TV recently.
Was it? Yeah.
Yeah, the one where he eats that. And he eats that chili and has that massive hallucination.
Yeah, and there's one bit that I quite like is the idea of he's constantly trying to walk around Marge to see her face, and it's just her bush hair, like the entire way around. It's pretty cool. You know, in film, you know, we haven't talked about film for a long time. We've kind of like discarded that, but like, you know, there's that whole element of like a dream sequence kind of like attached to it, you know, and it's a great way to provide a bit of narrative, add a bit of mystery, explore the psychological, really do some interesting sort of character development.
I don't know what this says about me, but most of my dreams, basically, I'm trying to chase the intangible.
Okay.
Like, if we broke that down psychologically, that probably tells the viewers more about me than everything else.
I mean, it's interesting, you know.
Yeah.
I guess I'd like to, you know, visit your brain and see what that's like. But then again, I'd also like to very much like visit the brain of a fucking animal or something that clearly have dreams themselves. You know, you see dogs like scooting along.
You just equated me to an animal.
Well, yeah, I mean, like, yeah, you're kind of like an animal to me, to be honest with you.
Please expand. We got time. This topic can wait.
Because you know, like there's a pecking order to things. Do you know what I mean?
Where is this going?
You're like my pet, aren't you? Come on, let's face it.
Unbelievable. Well, now you've ruined the podcast. That was very short. Bye, everybody.
Go on, do your thing.
Okay. Yeah, I'm off.
Anyway, no, you're still here.
Yes. So I was going to say, unfortunately, I don't even mean that. So let's dive into something a bit familiar on this podcast. Some old trodden ground looked at from a new perspective.
Okay.
So we're going to look at Greek mythology.
Oh, lovely.
Because I quite a lot of these concepts and how we perceive the world, right, comes from this idea of ancient mythology, and we've delved into a lot. So we're going to revisit Greek mythology.
Yeah.
And we'll probably be revisiting Greek mythology in different ways, shapes, or forms for the rest of our time on Earth.
Absolutely.
Because that's how long I envision we'll be doing this podcast.
Okay, so one thing to just to put out there, if we're adding a bit of personal flair there, I guess like in my very early teens, I got really interested in Greek mythology. Yeah. But like I think it was because I was just getting my head around the idea of what an intellectual would be. Yeah. I modelled myself over Spock from Star Trek. Yeah.
No, you didn't.
I did. Yeah.
I'm not even surprised.
I even practiced the old eyebrow raise that he would do before he would say illogical or whatever.
I could see that. Like, you guys did not see that.
Yeah.
But that was a good little.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. I've had practice since like a teen.
Yeah.
And it was all just to pick up chicks.
Did it work?
Absolutely not in any way.
Yeah, no.
But I'd pick up all of these stories and stuff like that. I was very much like a pseudo intellectual at that point in time. Yeah.
Do you know how I'm doing the eyebrow raise to you. Do you know why I like practice that?
Why?
The Rock, baby.
Oh yes, very much. Yeah, good stuff.
Very different kind of.
I mean, it was that time period. So when I was doing it, people were going, "Why does he think he's the Rock? What is he doing?"
Yeah. You're like, actually, I'm Spock. I'm not the Rock. I'm Spock.
You smell
what the Spock is. I almost did the little hand ring. Yeah. I love a world where they're the same being.
That's illogical, you jabroni. And
multiple universe theory. There is a world where they're the same person.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So, the Greeks obviously observed sleep and death.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
Quite often with the Greek mythology, there was goddesses and gods that were attributed to any kind of perceivable state.
Yeah.
So sleep and death exactly the same, and we kind of covered death a little bit, didn't we? Throughout different episodes.
Absolutely. We've been looking at psychopomps recently, haven't we?
But we haven't actually looked at sleep as a state.
Yeah.
So thought we could delve into it a bit.
Yeah.
So sleep and death have often been conceived as two closely related siblings in
Greek mythology.
And that makes sense to me.
Yeah.
Because we all kind of think of, quite often if you've got a disease, you might die in your sleep.
Yeah.
And the state of sleep is very similar to the state of death.
Yeah.
If you perceive it, unless you're a really loud snorer, like me, then you know that I'm still alive. So you have and this is why you give me these topics. I know, because I trip over them, and then you've got something to tease me about.
Like
later.
hypnos, is it?
Hypnos, which is the literal figurehead of sleep, and then Thanatos, which is the figurehead of death. So Hypnos and Thanatos. Try saying that 4 times when you've had a beer.
Yeah.
So they're brothers, and they're children of Nyx, which is the avatar of what?
Do you know? Nyx.
Threw that on you, didn't I? Sorry.
Yeah. I don't know. The avatar of.
It's the same.
Pinching people's bums.
It's the night.
Oh, okay.
Is the god of night.
Nyx, night. Makes sense. Is that kind of like a rough translation to night in like Greek or something? Nyx.
I think it probably is. I mean, I can't say with an absolute 100% guarantee, but like.
It's just not good enough.
Makes sense, right?
Yeah.
Do your research, Scrub. Do your own research next time.
Yeah.
Hypnos embodies restful mortal sleep.
Yeah.
So dreams, rest, and this idea of the nightly cycle.
Yeah.
So, you are performative during the day.
Yeah.
You are restful, and you fix yourself during the night. And we still have that kind of idea, don't we, in modern science, that you need a sleep routine for your body to be able to recover. And science tells us that when we are asleep, our brain is recovering and our muscles are recovering. It's a state of sleep that is natural in our body's recovery. I mean, we've all seen those things where people have been up for 98 hours, 100 hours, and they're tripping balls, right? And if you go long enough without sleep or sustained sleep, you can actually die.
I actually I've got an experience of that I'd kind of like to share. It was kind of like a waking dream or waking nightmare. And it was when I was working unsociable hours. I was working from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. No, the other way around. 7 p.m. to 7 a.m. I was doing 12-hour shifts at a call center, and I was pretty much the only person there. So it got to a point where I would literally just bring like a blanket and a pillow, like really taking the piss and get some sleep there. And I was just trying to do it so that I could have some social time as well, in normal waking hours and stuff. So I was trying it on a bit, but obviously I was not sleeping correctly and stuff like that. And there was this one time, right, where I was drifting in and out of sleep, and I became very, very lucid, as in I could not control myself or my body very well. I was like almost to the point of between consciousness and unconsciousness, almost like half fainted. And I heard noises and things like that, and I stumbled into like the office corridor and stuff like that, and I could not keep myself up, and I essentially just ended up just like throwing myself against the wall and dragging myself to the floor. And it's at that point in time that I actually saw like a whole bunch of like Navy SEALs in like 90s sort of like action films and things like that, like dressed all in black with the visors and all sorts of stuff like that. I saw that, and I just remember like these black figures with like red lights coming off them, just descending upon me. And I pretty much fell asleep for a while and completely lost consciousness, just blacked out. The next thing I knew, I was huddled over a bin back in the office. So I had been moved, and I was just vomiting into the bin that was there. It was one of the weirdest sort of like sleep situations I've ever been in, and that was because I wasn't getting enough sleep.
Yeah. Well, they say it's the basis for like sleep paralysis demons, right?
Yeah.
The idea that you see a figure, and because your brain, like you're half asleep, half awake, and your brain's not finished that process. The chemicals are still kind of flowing. You're like lucid.
Yeah.
But actually, your brain is still in that state of sleep, so you can't move your body. I mean, have you ever had an experience like that?
I mean, that I think is the closest thing I have. Yeah. It's almost like I was in the point where I was entering sleep paralysis, and I was fighting against that almost. And it was a losing battle because I ended up like killing over, I think. But other than that, I've never been in that situation before. I've never been in a situation where I've been in bed and I can't move or anything like that.
The terrifying thing, and this is the thing with knowledge, right, is that when you go through that, and logically, oh, this is because I'm still asleep, and you're going through this whole sleep paralysis demon like dream, and you're aware it's happening. It's still terrifying though. Just because I know that that's what it is, because I do have these from time to time.
Okay.
But I'm fully aware at the time. I'm like, oh great, another sleep paralysis demon dream. But I'm still absolutely shitting myself.
Okay.
Because that 2%, what if it's real?
Yeah.
And it's a really weird state to be.
So before we go on and talk more about Thanos and Nyx and Hypnos and stuff like that, you've increased my interest in you as a person, right. and the audience as well. You've just dropped that you have sleep paralysis demon dreams.
Yeah.
Describe your sleep paralysis demon dream. Is he the one that we mentioned previously?
I like how you assumed it was a male.
I always assume everything's a
Yeah.
male, okay? Everyone's pointing this out to me.
Yeah.
Like, we've got like a stunt dummy sort of thing that's completely genderless. So I say, pick him up off the floor. And they go, excuse me, him? I'm like, I've got no time for this. Like,
I mean,
that's my patriarchal
he does
stuff going
he does
on.
look like a guy, though.
Yeah, okay.
He's filled out like a guy.
Yeah?
He ain't got boobs.
He ain't got boobs, has he? Yeah.
No.
But
And he's very, like, straight down, you know, straight down the waist. He has the figure of a man.
But, you know, that's us being rude, though, isn't it?
I suppose so.
Yeah. We've got to draw a willy on him, and then no one can complain.
Be like, that's clearly a penis. Just stuff a little bit more of a thing on it.
Start fondling.
Yeah.
Excuse me, this is clearly a penis.
Yeah.
Feel the weight.
Yeah, so, like, how best to describe them? I mean, usually it's like a hooded figure, right? Like, I can't really see the details. And quite often, it's probably, you know, this part's probably my subconscious taking in from horror films, right? But it's almost like the Bloody Ring, like, you know, a woman, like a woman in barely sort of like recognizable clothes, sort of like really generic, like, you know, clothes, pale skin.
It's a presence.
Yeah.
Is it more of a presence than an actual figure that you can describe?
Like, I couldn't draw it.
Yeah.
Like, there's no facial features. There's no, but like, she walks a little bit, and then and it's almost like she jumps, almost like that. There's time that's not accounted for.
Okay.
And then, like, she'll sit on my chest sometimes, but it's so weird because it's almost like my mind's been scrubbed, because you'd think if somebody sits on your chest, somebody pins you down to the chest, you'd be able to get all sorts of like facial details.
Yeah. Okay.
Nothing. I can't tell you what this
in that
woman
moment
looks like.
do you have like your breathing affected because someone's got to whack a weight on your chest?
Yeah. Well, like, effectively, I know I'm asleep.
Yeah.
So it's not like, you know, my wife's like, oh, he's got his eyes open and he can't move. Yeah. So I'm aware that I'm asleep.
Yeah.
And that I'm maybe not even like turned on. I'm maybe turned on my side, right? I'm maybe not even, but it feels like there's a weight there, and it's more of a sense of dread than anything else. Even though I know it's a dream, there's a real sense that I'm in danger.
Okay.
And that's the best way I can describe it. I think
dread.
I think if anyone can give you like really, really, really like major details, they're probably not having the dreams that I have.
Okay. Yeah. Fair enough.
How
vividly do you remember it? Is it because it's like it's only just sort of like you have like images and stuff?
I remember
or
the
do
panic.
You really remember it?
I like I said, it's like time skip. So I remember something at the doorway. Yeah. Right. And then you would think that I would remember every walk, right? But it's almost like, remember the doorway, 2 steps, and then suddenly that thing is closer.
Yeah.
So it's almost like I'm not perceiving time.
Yeah.
The same way, and then suddenly on the chest.
Okay.
And then it's just feelings. Like I can't even picture it after that. It's just feelings, and it's usually very negative feelings.
Yeah. Okay.
And then, you know, I'll get up and make a bagel. I'll have some milk.
Absolutely.
I won't go straight to bed.
Do you give the demons some bagel?
No, as in once I'm awake.
Yeah, but do you like make some for them?
Well, the demons hooked off by this point.
Well, maybe that's why they're pissed off with you, mate. Like,
maybe
next time
I don't get
leave
these,
out some food.
I don't get these every night. Like, and you know, if I'm being analytical, there's probably very clear times where it happens, right?
Okay.
Like if I'm stressed, lack of sleep, you know, all of the major kind of things that normally would trigger these sorts of like, because I don't know, maybe they're anxiety dreams, right? They certainly don't happen when I'm on holiday. Let's put it that way. When I'm on holiday and I'm swimming in the pool, I'm certainly not having them.
The sleep paralysis demon comes and she's just in a sarong and a bikini.
I'd love them to be themed. I think I'd be less like bothered.
Yeah.
But yeah, like when I'm in a good state of mind, they happen. They don't happen.
Yeah.
So you can read into that how you want.
Yeah, I mean, like, okay, so like, I will read into that time. So like, how about like, do you ever like suffer from any sort of like sleep breathing issues like apnea and stuff like that?
I probably do.
Yeah. I mean, like, is that perhaps like, attached to this idea of like something on your chest? Like, I always wonder that when people talk about that, because you're not the only person that talks about like the idea of something sitting on their chest and stuff.
It's quite common, and like if you look at sleep paralysis, it's one of the main commonalities between the two.
Yeah.
That people feel, and it's not always someone sitting on them, right? Sometimes it's just like a feeling, like a presence on somebody. It's not always a physical, tangible thing. Because we talked about the idea, like many episodes ago, about schizophrenia, and the hallucinations of schizophrenia were unique to the culture.
Yeah.
So I see a ring like almost wraith, because that's what's in our popular culture.
Yeah.
Right? So there'll be plenty of people that maybe that is a physical weight for some people.
Yeah.
We just in the West have attributed that to like a scary looking demon.
Yeah. Maybe some people have like just like a cute dinosaur just visiting them.
I'd be happy with that.
Yeah, I mean that would be better than what
Still
you've got.
Still be quite terrible though. Like I said, it's loads of kind of thoughts and feelings that are attributed to it.
At least it's not a sleep demon in a dirty Pikachu suit.
I'd be out. I'd never sleep again.
I'd die of fear.
You'd see, because after day 6, I'd be like this on the. That was me scratching the armchair for anyone that was wondering what was going on.
Okay, tell us some stuff about the Grecians.
Yeah, so we talked about hypnos and the idea that hypnos represents dreams, rest, and a nightly cycle. This idea of day to night and keeping that in balance, and then we overshared. So Thanatos then represents the finality of death. So there's obviously lots of things around death, particularly in Greek mythology, but Thanatos is the finality of death. Like
it's too close. It's too close to Thanos, to be honest with you.
I do
just
think
keep
that,
thinking
but
of Marvel.
I don't want to be that. Oh, I'm into Marvel, so I'm going to connect everything. But you have to know that, like, comics and writers, they're using this stuff as a basis anyway, so there might be a connection.
Yeah.
The myths typically explore their relationship, how they mediate on the idea of vulnerability, and how humans fear morality. And interestingly, a lot of the myths, I think because they're children of Nyx, a lot of the myths talk about how that projects onto the dark and night as a concept. One of the myths, Selene, who is the moon goddess, loves the mortal shepherd, and here we go, Endymion.
Okay.
Endymion.
Endymion.
Endymion. And so asks Zeus that he remains in perpetual sleep, so that she may gaze upon him unaged every night.
Okay, so
these goddesses and gods are just wicked, aren't they?
So did the Greeks believe that when you sleep you don't age? If we were to continue sleep, I mean, like we think that with like cryogenic sleep, don't we? That like if we to freeze ourselves we wouldn't sleep, and we're going into a period of sort of like rapid repair of the body. So if you were asleep continuously, I guess you wouldn't age as much. What about people in comas and stuff?
Well, they still age, don't they?
Yeah.
Because we don't age...
But do you age less?
But we don't age in the idea of like, well, I did more today, so I aged 2 days. I did less today, so I aged 1 day. That's not really how our bodies work.
But I did more smoking today, so my body aged more.
Yeah, but that's not a physical activity. That is a product you're putting in your body.
Yeah, but I mean, like someone with a very stressful job. If you had 2 twins, right?
Yeah, I see where you're going with it.
When one worked on the docks, and every
one worked
day,
in a cocktail bar.
Every day he was accused of being racist. And he smoked as well.
Is this again a personal?
No, it's not. Absolutely not. It's just, I'm trying to think of like stressful instances and stuff.
Okay.
So all of those things happened to him, and then like his brother got a blowjob every day from the Queen, and like
from the Queen.
And dinner was always cream cakes. Like they're gonna look different.
Yeah. Yeah, okay. I see the concept. So I guess running with that, the idea of this myth is when you're asleep, time is frozen. That's the core concept.
Yeah.
So Hypnos initiates this eternal slumber for the shepherd, which is not quite death, but removes the shepherd from mortal cycles.
When we're talking about the shepherd, are we literally just talking about like
Endymion?
Oh, okay, all right.
So the mortal shepherd is Endymion.
The mortal shepherd.
The mortal shepherd.
What's it? I mean, like
well, she just fell in love with a shepherd.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Okay. So that's the basis. That's one of these stories, I guess, that's going to allow us to explore the lore of these characters.
Yeah.
I guess. Yeah.
So the story captures themes of beauty frozen in time, desire bound with sleep, and sleep as an escape, and perhaps sleep as a form of symbolic death as well, maybe. But this idea is sleep to escape your normal mortal kind of like day, right? Okay. This idea of like the waking day. So yeah, and Hypnos also features in tales where gods are sent to sleep as well, to manipulate events.
Oh,
so I'm kind of getting Sandman vibes.
Yeah.
A little bit. Hera persuades Hypnos to lull Zeus to sleep, for example, so she might act unseen.
Oh, very good.
So at times where she wants to pull a fast one on Zeus, which is,
it's normally the other way around, isn't it? That fucking slippery Zeus.
But sometimes Hera's like, not today, Zeus.
Yeah. She's doing something else.
Hypnos, let's get it sorted.
Hypnos is Hera's lackey. Basically.
Yeah. Well, I think he does a bit for everybody.
Okay.
I think depending on... It's just a side character who's got a cool power.
Yeah, fair enough.
Because Greek mythology is basically the X-Men, right? They all have different powers and they all, get up to hijinks together.
But like, when we think of him, like, is he much like that Colin character from What We Do in the Shadows?
where everyone's just like, he's such an energy vampire. They're just like, oh... Right, I guess I'll go to sleep.
So he's actually very boring.
Yeah.
So, like, Zeus is there, and, like, he gets a knock at the door, and then it's Hypnos, and he's, not this guy again. What is it? Well, I just wanted to talk to you about what's happening in Athens right now with the tax deductibles and blah, blah, blah. And, Done it, yes!
I love that. That as a concept,
yeah,
that needs to be in something.
Hypnos.
Because sleep is involuntary...
Yeah.
Frequent and usually unconscious. Yeah. Almost always. Greeks thought that sleep resembles death.
Yeah.
So this idea of, the two being dual.
Yeah, I was going to actually just talk about that just very quickly. It's very much in, like, the teachings of Jesus and stuff like that. You've got the idea of death being just sleep. And that everyone at some point in time will come out of that sleep, and you've got resurrection and other such things like that. So yeah, like that link has always been with us, I guess.
Yeah, and they go a little bit further with that. So Greek myth tends to regard death as irreversible and universal, although most people come back from it anyway in their myths.
Yeah.
So I'm not really sure about that. With sleep being temporary, cyclical in nature and restorative.
Right.
So although it is a state like death, it's restorative in nature. It is there to help.
Oh, it certainly is.
And Hypnos' cave, so we were talking about, probably quite boring, knocks on people's door. But his cave and dwelling is at the edge of the world. Yeah. And they call it a place of twilight.
Okay.
Which mirrors the boundary between life and non-life. So he's kind of, it's almost like he brings people into his cave, and then, once they're better again, back to life.
I bet he's got beige curtains.
Yeah. I've got a pretty not great image.
Yeah.
Of Hypnos.
Yeah.
And it's mostly because of your Colin reference. So this mythological pairing invites reflection.
Yeah.
What is the nature of consciousness, for example? How is sleep a rehearsal for death? Is a question that was posed. Or at least a rehearsal in vulnerability, because obviously when you're in sleep, you can't react. We talked a lot about this idea of, being in a fixed state as well.
Yeah.
Which I've experienced myself. Also, how do dreams traverse both realms? This idea of being alive and being restored, and this state of death where you're in this sort of slumber. Sometimes this can be blurred even further by offering prophetic visions, and we see this beyond the Greek mythology as well. How many times do people fall into like a sleep-like state and they get visions of the future or like, you know, dramatic events? It happens a lot with almost every mythos. I think every mythos has some sort of like, you know, state in which you are both conscious and unconscious.
Yeah. And
receiving the word of, you know, God or whatever it is.
Yeah, we talked about like the Tibetan afterlife kind of being like this sort of dream state as well. Yeah, and the Zoroastrian. Before that, we even talked about the Zoroastrian. What's the word? Psychopomp like idea, essentially being, you know, a dreamlike state where you're kind of like meeting yourself almost. You know, meeting that person there that's going to ask you loads of questions and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You know. Yeah, I mean, like you're probably you've got that link between like that chemical like DMT and death, but also to actually get your dreams, you know, going and stuff like that. You're probably having that sort of like release going on, I guess, or something similar. You know, definitely.
And this final point, this kind of this idea of a blurred line between sleep and death will kind of cycle on, I think, for as long as we're alive. Like, you know, we do see them as two states of a similar path, right?
Yeah.
And like I said at the start, how many diseases end with a state of sleep that transitions to death? So it's almost like a pathway, and that's kind of what the Greeks saw it as. This like middle ground between being conscious and being dead. Dead, yeah. And that was Hypnos, boys and girls.
So, speaking of the dead, do you want to hear about exploding head syndrome?
You wouldn't even let me say no.
So, it's true. It's true. I say, well, fuck off then, mate, because that's what we're talking about.
That's the structure of the podcast, all right? So,
yeah. So, this is interesting because what's the word? It is essentially related to hypnagogic or hypnopompic phenomena. Okay, so the exploding head syndrome, for anyone who wants to know, if you don't, fuck off, as we said.
Yeah, you can leave from this point on.
Yeah, just stop listening. Just turn it off, but don't, because that would be silly.
And your head might explode.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
You can't stop it.
And you won't know. You at least won't know how to stop your head from exploding. Yeah.
Does it actually go through how to stop your head from exploding?
So I've yet to actually get in life adequate instructions in order to prevent head explosion.
Because it's a constant worry, isn't it?
It is a constant worry, yeah. That spontaneous combustion, can you imagine at the moment when you spontaneously combust, then your head explodes?
The whole time you're saying this, I'm just thinking of that scene in Kingsman.
Okay.
Where, have you seen it?
No. Just pretend I have.
So right at the end, all the bad guys' heads just exploding like a fireworks of like viscera.
Brilliant.
And that's all I've got in my head.
Cool. Yeah, it's so strange that the guy who did the layer cake ended up doing all of the Kingsman films and other such things.
You can see similarities in them though.
But he's got a bit wacky, hasn't he? Like, you know, we had a good start and then he's like, okay.
Yeah, Kingsman's a fantastic film.
Okay.
I cannot recommend it enough.
Yeah, fair enough. I'll give it a go when I have time, which is never.
It's a bit of nudity in the end.
Oh,
You'd
really?
like that? Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm in. God damn it, I'm in.
Get some Colin Firth dong, do we?
No.
I'm not interested, mate.
Okay, fair enough.
That's all I needed to know. Yeah. Anyway, okay, so I only watch Colin Firth films if he is nude in them.
Yeah. A little bit of bum cheek.
So I don't watch any. Anyway, okay, so I'll put your mind at ease, okay? Exploding head syndrome doesn't actually mean that your head will explode.
Okay, that's good.
You're not going to hit the pillow and then 5 minutes later have your head explode. But it is a sleep phenomenon in which the sleeper typically, as they're falling asleep or waking up, hears a loud imagined explosion, or a crash, or a gunshot, or a musical note, or a similar startling sound. Yeah. Okay. You could be hearing the old sound of a PC booting up, that boom, or it could just literally be like a gunshot sound or something like that. But it's nothing to be worried about. It is benign medically. Yeah. It can also be accompanied by a flash of light at times, but it's part of a class of phenomena where the boundary states of sleep and wakefulness produce an anomalous sensory experience. Yeah. So how it all works is the mind is actually at that point in time transitioning. Yeah. It is through the through your neural gate. Your neural gate is partially switching off and your sensory systems are misfiring because of that. Yeah. So the sleeper is usually unaware of any sort of physical stimulus, but they actually perceive something intense externally. Yeah. And so it induces like fear, startling. Sometimes it's very vivid or auditory and visual hallucinations are attached to it. But again, it's, whether or not your heart's pounding with this and you're feeling shock, it's nothing to be worried about and it's not dangerous.
So is it medicated?
No, it's literally just something that will happen to you occasionally. Like, for example, every now and then I have this strange dream where I'm about to fall asleep. Yeah. And it is literally that moment where your body is falling to sleep. But because you're slightly maybe aware of that on a subconscious level, I have this reoccurring dream where I am walking and then at some point in time, I hit a lamppost straight on. And I actually feel that physical experience of hitting the lamppost, not through pain, but just through the shock of it. Yeah. It might be that you also have a similar sort of experience where, you have a falling dream. And like at the moment when you're actually falling, you have that sort of like involuntary sort of spasm that kind of wakes you up. It could be a similar sort of thing to as you're drifting off, you have that sort of like leg twitch. Do you ever have like a leg twitch?
Yeah.
Some people call that like restless leg syndrome and other such things like that. I don't necessarily know if it's the exact same syndrome, but it's all related to that idea of like in between like wakefulness and sleep, you're going past that point, and your neural gating is essentially acting as it shouldn't at that point in time. So it's interesting.
A lot can go wrong with sleep, can it?
I guess. But is it really going wrong? I guess. It's just, it's just an interesting sort of like
side effect.
Safe issue that we have to deal with. Yeah. Obviously it can be like a little bit harrowing for people, obviously, because, you're trying to get sleep and then that fucking happens, but never mind.
Especially if I'm just thinking, what would pair worse with flashing noises, like a grenade sound? There's definitely some combinations that would be more worrying than others.
Yeah, that happens, and then like you notice in the corner the sleep demons there. It's for fuck's sake.
Yeah, I'm absolutely fucked. Yeah, I'm cooked, as the kids would say.
The kids would say, yeah. So yeah, I mean, like if you consider. Like if this has happened in the past to people, it's often like strange sounds in the night are often attributed to like spirits, gods, omens, and things like that. And the phenomena can obviously then carry superstition and fear that's perhaps had an impact on some stories and things like that have stayed with us in the past in our culture and stuff. But this only really happens to about 10% of the population, and it happens to them at least one time. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So it might be that you've actually had this and you've not necessarily paid attention to this or anything like that, at that moment. So yeah, interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool.
It reveals something about how our brains gate sensory input during sleep transition. So I've mentioned this idea of neural gating. Yeah. So how we generate expectations, memories, and misperceptions. It also sheds light on the hypnagogic or hypnopompic states more broadly. So hypnagogic being asleep and waking up being hypnopompic. Yeah. So again, we've got that term pomp coming forward.
Yeah.
That that transition, that gatekeeper or something like that, the psychopomp or the hypnopomp.
It all just goes in a giant circle, doesn't it? It all feeds into each other.
So if we were talking about who did we talk about? We talked about Mercury or what's the Greek equivalent of Mercury? I can't think of his
insert here.
Insert here, whoever that is. But like, you know, if he's a psychopomp, you've then got the Greek hypnos, who's going to be that I guess hypnopomp. You know,
hypnopomp. I like it.
Yeah.
I wonder what that's where the word hypnosis comes from.
Yeah. I mean, I did want to bring this up like earlier because, like, you know, but it's like a lot of what we think of like about hypnosis and hypnotic and stuff like that is people going to sleep and then being influenced in their sleep or in a trance or something like that, and then being altered that way. So yeah, to avoid this sort of thing, you could potentially take medication to help with sleep and that transition into sleep, but also, you know, having effective sleep hygiene is super, super important. And this is something actually that when I've been looking at like longevity and stuff like that, as I like reach 40, I'm trying to think of ways in which I can like make it into my hundreds.
You're on that longevity hype train, are you?
Not to the level of spending any money on it, but like anything I can do for free, why not?
Eat an extra banana a day.
Extra banana, yeah, that'll keep the sleep demons away. But yeah, so I'm really into that idea of sleep hygiene now. I went to bed at 8 because I was feeling a bit tired.
Fair enough.
And it's fine. I just end up waking up earlier. It's not like I get any sleep, any more sleep. It's just that's what happens. But yeah. There's no pain in most cases, and it's just an auditory hallucination. It is differentiated from hypnic jerks, sleep apnea, or epilepsy. So, as I've mentioned, the idea of like, you know, people's legs twitching and stuff like that, it is definitely different to that. It's more of a psychological experience that people are going through, and a lot of the time, contributing factors like what you're having, stress, sleep deprivation, and things like that, are going to have a cause towards that. And there's relatively little known on the actual. The idea of this exploding head syndrome, and many sufferers think they're going insane or are being haunted. Public awareness on this is kind of low, but like, you know,
I didn't know that this was a phenomenon.
Yeah,
which is upsetting, right? Because if you live in a community that has like a supernatural element or like a religion, right, and you start to go through it, and those sorts of auditory visions are linked to that, you could be convinced that you're being visited by a demon, right? Scary stuff.
Yeah. I would like to meet your demon. I think they've got some stories to tell. Like,
they're probably scared of me.
Yeah.
They're probably holding me down. Like, oh, if he gets loose, he's gonna kick off.
Like, what if it's like, we've been talking about this idea of transitioning and stuff like that. What if this is like some sort of like link between like dream states and stuff like that, and you're having a sleep demon, and then someone else is dreaming, maybe in their like further subconscious, that they are watching someone sleep.
So you think it's linked? Do you think there's somebody out there that just like a sleep Wi-Fi?
Yeah. But like, you know, the idea of like, you know, like different like parallel universes and stuff like that, and how things sort of like link together.
Immediately to tickle your sci-fi, like your Star Trek fancy.
Oh yeah.
I immediately like, we are the Borg. Like, as soon as everybody is like psychically linked, I just think of the Borg.
One of my favorite episodes of Star Trek, is an episode where all of the crew are having these really, really strange medical issues, okay? And what's actually happening is that when they're asleep, pan-dimensional aliens...
Yes.
Pan-dimensional aliens... This episode, Schisms it's called, it's so good. Oh my God, it's so good. Pan-dimensional aliens are actually taking them into their own... their own universe, and conducting experiments on them and then sending them back. So like, you know, one person will just wake up and it's like they can't breathe. It's like, because they've changed their lungs, like they're no longer able to like use breath and stuff like that. And, you know, there's all sorts of things going on. Someone's had their arm taken off and surgically reattached and stuff like that. And it's really, really cool because they sort of develop this idea of it being something that's kind of like in your subconscious, you remember sort of shit. And they're crab people. They're like, they've got these little clicky
I thought I
hands
knew
and stuff
what
like
episode
that.
you're talking about, but now I don't.
Mate, go on Netflix and check out Schisms. It's such a good episode.
Is it the original?
No, it's Next Generation. It's always going to be the Next Generation with me. Yeah. But yeah, Schisms, such a good episode. If you want to know how Star Trek is kind of like, it's not just a series, it's kind of like an environment where you can tell any sort of story, that's a good example of it, because that's got that element of horror to it, but not too much. It's more of like a mystery suspense sort of thing, but it definitely does get really, really kind of a bit weird.
That's
with
cool.
That. I think a lot of people get put off Next Generation stuff because it kind of looks a bit soapy.
Yeah, it's definitely got that sort of like the 90s low budget feel.
Yeah.
But then there's elements to it that's done really well. So
and everyone's got their own sort of like little bit of like 90s low budget jank that they can get on board with. This is just mine.
Voyager's mine.
Oh yeah. Well, that's late 90s noughties days. Yeah. Whereas Next Generation, late 80s, 90s. Yeah. Anyway, I have managed by making that big homage to Star Trek, I've managed to take us into the last point of the episode. Do you have any like final thoughts on what we've discussed so far?
I like the idea that, like, although this topic is really varied, we're very quickly kind of understanding that sleep is a process.
And it's important. Yeah.
And it's important. So get some sleep, folks, before the next one.
Absolutely. And as we finish now, you should be winding down. On your way.
To
We're
sleep.
here.
Look at the fuck up!
You ruined it for me. Go to sleep! Go to sleep right now!
Or you'll get demons!
I am your sleep demon! Go to sleep so I can touch you up!
Best ending ever. You're welcome.
Bye.